Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and I'm super excited once again to tell you about the Kia Niro. Now, the last time we talked about this car was almost a year ago, and a lot has changed since then. Not so much with the car, but with what's gone on with the car. For instance, in J.D. Power's initial quality study, this car got #1 in its class in the small crossover, small SUV, in initial quality, beat out our Sportage, which got #2. Consumer Reports is now calling this car the #1 car for reliability in its survey. The #1 car for reliability in a first-year car. So that's pretty exciting, but I told you at the time that this was my favorite Kia. So 1 year later, is it my favorite Kia? Well, actually, yes, it is. Now, we've come out with a Stinger since then. It's kind of hard to beat the Stinger as a performance car, but as a regular, everyday car, this is still my favorite Kia. So we're going to talk about why. If you have questions, let us know below. And if you want to see more videos like this about the Kia Niro or other Kia products, give this video a like, leave us a positive comment. That tells my bosses and tells YouTube that you want to see more of me doing this, and they'll let me do more. So let's get into it. The 2018 Kia Niro. So why is the Kia Niro my favorite Kia? Well, it's pretty simple. This package, this size of car, the 5-seater, the sort of wagon style, hatchback style, crossover style, whatever you want to call it, it makes sense for a ton of people. But the big thing is, in our lineup, this has basically replaced the Kia Rondo. And I've always been a fan of the Kia Rondo. The original Kia Rondo was not the best looking car in the world. I own one right now. They're not the most stylish. This is much more stylish. But the thing with the Kia Rondo is, compared to this, it's nowhere near the fuel economy. This has, the other day I was driving my wife's car, it's the Kia Rondo, it had almost double the fuel usage of this car. So that's a big savings when you're driving a similar car. And that's why this car makes so much sense in its class. So many other manufacturers are making these small crossovers, these front wheel drive crossovers, and they're billing them as their economy crossover, something that gets great fuel economy, but they can't compete with the Niro. And the reason why is because the Niro is a hybrid car. So before you turn off the video, if hybrid car scares you, don't let it scare you. Remember what I told you, Consumer Reports called this car the most reliable car in its survey. So reliability and worries about hybrids, they're kind of gone now. There's a different type of car. The hybrid is a different type of vehicle, but people aren't worried about them because they've proven as a class to be among the most reliable vehicles you can own. So what does it mean for a hybrid? Basically, there's a battery, it's underneath the rear seat of this car. You don't see it, you don't have to do anything with it, you never have to plug the car in. But it allows you to have an electric motor in this car, and there's a computer inside which determines whether it should run on the gas motor, the electric motor, or a mixture of both. If you're driving it, you get in the car, you hit the start button, and off you drive. It's just like any other car to drive. And that's why hybrids make so much sense. As we move to the electrification of vehicles, the hybrid vehicle makes the most sense. And they're doing hybrid vehicles on everything. Ford F-150 is coming out, Jeep Wrangler's coming out. So all these cars that used to be on the opposite end of the spectrum from, say, a Toyota Prius, everybody's doing a hybrid now, and the Niro is doing really, really well. We've had trouble keeping this car in stock worldwide because people are so impressed with this car. So it's a practical package, it's aerodynamic, it doesn't look too crazy or flashy. Sometimes hybrids, they look really futuristic, kind of weird looking. This is a very mainstream looking car. So if you're looking for a normal car that kind of blends into your neighborhood, the Niro makes a ton of sense. So let's take a look at the back end and we'll move our way forward from there. One of the things I love about the Niro is its practicality. And I just came back from the auto show, and there's so many cars in this class that just shrink down the cargo area to give you a lot of space up front, and it doesn't make sense. Like I said, a lot of competitors are moving into that small crossover space where they want to be fuel efficient, but they shrink the car down. This one's still got plenty of space back here. You've got underfloor storage here. You've also got, on the EX Premium, you've got a cargo cover, which if I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, locks right in here, no problem. Keeps your cargo hidden from prying eyes, keeps the shade on it as well. So really practical feature there. And of course the seats fold down. So you've got tons of space when you need it. If you need to go to IKEA or if you need to go to, Lowe's or something like that, you can fold the seats down, get all the big things you need in here. And when you need to fit adults, you can do that as well. But even without the seats fold down, lots of room, underfloor storage. This one also comes with a cargo net, and I love that. It's got tie downs, but I kind of like going around corners sort of fast, and most hybrid drivers don't do that. But this car, the center of gravity is nice and low. It's fun to take around corners. Cargo net lets you hold your gear in place without having to slam around the trunk. Makes a ton of sense. So let's go out and check the driver's seat and the interior of this car as well. So it's always difficult filming the interior of a car, but this one's not so bad. You've got a lot of space. In fact, I have an entire fist on top of my head and probably another couple fingers on top. So I'm about 6 feet tall and I've got tons of headroom. You don't get that in every car in this class. You've also got good knee room. Now this seat is set to come back after I get out of the car. So it was set for me, but I let it come back just to prove as well that there's still plenty of space. It's got some carve outs for your knees, and the thing I love is it's got plastic on the back of the seat. So these are a leather cloth mix in this EX Premium model, but it's got a plastic back of the seat. And if you've got kids or if you've got people in the back, you're not scratching the leather, you're not damaging anything, and your kids, if they put their feet up there, you just wipe it clean with that hard plastic. So really practical aspect there. And again, the space. In the center here, an armrest with cup holders, that makes a ton of sense, and the armrest falls readily to hand for an adult. So it's not one of those low ones that sits flush on the seat. It raises up and it sits really comfortable. You've also got vents back here to keep your guests warm or cool. And the other thing is you've got cool LED lights. Now, people don't think of the lighting in a car, but these ones have a real white light to it, and it makes the car look really expensive at night. Just little touches, little details that make cars stand out. So I love it back here, and I really like the cloth leather mix. Well, I'll show you a picture of that right now. So you can see there's a cloth and leather mix. It looks like it's sporty, it looks athletic, but it also just makes it look really rich. So that nice kind of mix of cloth and leather. The driver's seat is really what sells it for the Niro, and if you've watched my other Niro video, you probably heard me say the same thing there. You sit in the seats and they're comfortable. This one's got power seats. It's also got a power lumbar support, and that really matters. It gives you that good support when you're on a long trip. Leather wrapped steering wheel, and so many Kias, they're well designed inside. And if a car doesn't make you feel great when you're inside it, it's probably not the right car for you. Kias are doing a really good job with high quality interiors, high quality materials. Everything you touch feels good. The armrests on this, on the door, are nice soft touch, so you've got nice stitching throughout the car. It really makes a difference when you get in and it feels like a nice car. You're gonna be paying for this car for a while, probably. Some people buy them cash, but a lot of people are paying for them for a while. You wanna have something that makes you feel like it's worth it, makes it feel special, and this car does. So in the category, it's a very cost competitive car. It costs very similar to other non-hybrids, and that used to be the knock against hybrids, is they would cheapen up the interior to pay for the extra technology, but that technology is becoming more mainstream, and Kia does a great job of adding value. So you've got features inside that you may not expect in any car in its class, let alone a hybrid. So this one's got heated steering wheel. Every Kia Niro comes with that, and heated seats as well. So super great feature right there. This one's got backup beepers as well as a backup camera. Now the beepers, what do? Well, they help you as you're approaching something, they beep at you and warn you, and you can't always watch the backup camera, so those beepers are a great addition. So it's got double features there. Speaking of that screen, the backup camera on this, there's a 7-inch screen in this model, there's an 8-inch screen in the premium model, that 8-inch screen has navigation in the premium model. This one though, it still has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, if you're not familiar with those, what they do is they tether to your smartphone and they give you a lot of the features of your smartphone. For instance, you can get the maps off your Apple iPhone or your Android phone. And what that means is you have constantly up-to-date maps right there on the screen in your car through tethering through your phone. So the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, we've got another video on our YouTube channel. You can check that out. Makes a ton of sense in these cars, and it really makes it sort of future-proof. You know, your maps will always be up to date even when your car is 10 years old. Speaking of cell phones, this one has a wireless charging pad. Now my cell phone doesn't even have that yet, but cell phones of the future will have that. You drop your cell phone where you would normally put it in the car, and it's going to charge for you. So great little feature right there on this EX Premium model. So let's talk about steering wheel. Now this one's leather wrapped, nice stitching through here, some nice little details down here. It's got a telescopic reach, and of course up and down and telescopic. So I love that. I like having the steering wheel close to me. I've got a little bit long legs, so I like having the steering wheel close but the pedals further away. Feels great. You've got steering wheel controls on this side for Bluetooth, audio. You've got controls on this side for some of your center dash screens. In between your two gauges, a 4.7-inch LCD screen as well. Gives you a ton of information. Now, if you're a hybrid person, if you've driven hybrids and that's why you're into this car, that center dash between your gauges and the one in the center of the car here will both tell you all kinds of hybrid details. Hybrids are great for helping you get great fuel economy. So if you want to drive economically, there's a whole bunch of displays and screens that can help you do that. If you are not into this car for the hybrid factor, you just like this car for what it is, you can also just see normal information, things like a trip odometer, temperature outside, all those kinds of things. So you don't have to be overwhelmed by technology, but you can also have those things if you want it. Little things I love, it's got blind spot detection. So if you can see in your mirror, a little light lights up. If there's somebody in your blind spot, it'll warn you if you're going to signal into someone. But the other thing that feature does is it gives you rear cross traffic alert. So when you put the car in reverse, if you're in a parking lot and you're watching your camera here, the car will beep at you and send you arrows. If a car is coming from the left side, it'll send you arrows from the left side. So if there's people walking, a car coming, it'll warn you so you're not hitting them. And that's sometimes you can't always see from the driver's seat when you're getting out of a parking lot. You can't always see beside you. The back end of this car will warn you when something's coming. Great safety feature. So a lot of features on this car, even little things like automatic defog. So when your car's got a frosty window, you don't have to turn on the defogger. It'll automatically do that for you. Automatic headlights, same thing. Don't have to turn on your headlights when it gets dark. It'll turn it on for you. So many great features in this car, and it just makes so much sense. It's price competitive. It costs so little to run. It's been proven to be super reliable. It's just a great car. So I'm gonna hop out. We're gonna close up this video. So before we wrap up this video, I'm sure there's something that I didn't answer that you want to know. Let us know in the comments below in YouTube or on Facebook, and we'll answer those questions for you. And finally, why do we make these videos? We make them, if you're in the GTA area, we make them to earn your business. We recognize that not everybody is local, but if you're relatively local, we make these videos to earn your business. So if you've never been to Brantford Kia, stop on by, let us have a chance to earn your business. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you later.